Today in crypto, American Bitcoin miners are making a massive power play to capture a good percentage of the global hash rate. Zimbabwe comes in to remind us just why we so desperately need to have competition in the currency marketplace, particularly why we need to have crypto. And yet another DeFi exploit has resulted in a big loss. My name is Lark, and this is where you subscribe for all of the hottest and all of the latest happening out here in the wild land of crypto. A quick reminder as well, my newsletter, Wealth Mastery, is launching next week on the 8th of July. Membership will get you a weekly email packed with all of the latest market research. There's going to be top news, DeFi updates, a weekly research report on a hot cryptocurrency, fresh technical analysis looking at the market, not just Bitcoin, but also altcoins too, insights from industry leaders, and much, much more, all carefully crafted by me and my team. This newsletter is designed to help you keep ahead of the curve and to help you grow your wealth in crypto. No fluff, no sponsored posts, just legit relevant info for you, all for less than $10 a week. There's a link down below in the description where you can get signed up. So, let's start off today by looking at Bitcoin. We have been in an ascending channel for an entire month now. We really need to see a break above $9,400 to cancel this downtrend that we are currently in. The bottom of this channel, by the way, is around the 200-day moving average at $8,300, meaning that there is some more downside potential in the short term if we don't break that upper line of resistance, but that 200-day moving average is a key line of support. So I would hope that if we do see that downward price action, the price is going to hold there. Bitcoin's volatility, it remains incredibly low, which means that volatility is coming. Looking at the Bollinger Bands, we can see that the last few times the bands got this tight, we had a strong move afterwards. Now we can of course continue for some more sideways action before that actually plays out, but that big move, it is coming. Now, right now, we are on the bottom band of the Bollinger Bands, indicating that the bias may be for a more downwards action in the short term. But we also have just so many indicators signaling that we are due for a move up in the markets. So, that short-term noise may not be so important. The Bitcoin active supply chart, it is showing a lot of strength right now. The last time we saw this amount of Bitcoin that had not moved in over a year was back in early 2016. Now that is particularly relevant because that came just before the bull run, which launched us up to $20,000. So much of the current market structure at the moment, it's scarily similar to the market in 2016, the run-up, the halving, the quiet time afterwards. Remember, even if we drop down to $8,300 to test the 200-day moving average, the market in that situation is still maintaining a bullish bias. Also, take a look at this chart here. It is the total crypto market cap. You can see that for the last 9 weeks, we've just been flirting with a breakout here, but we have not really sealed the deal at this stage. We've always had this pump up, then a retrace, test, then a retrace, but not really a definitive breakout. Now, when we do have a definitive breakout, that would equate to a new bullish break for the entire cryptocurrency market. So much is coming together at a technical level right now. It's very, very exciting. Anyway, quick update here for all of the CRYPTODOTCOM card holders in the UK and in the EU. It seems that the UK's Financial Conduct Authority has lifted its ban on Wirecard UK, meaning that all cards which have been issued by Wirecard UK, they are now reactivated. So if you are a card holder in the UK or the EU of the Crypto.com card, you can now use your card again, which is definitely awesome news. It would seem that the subsidiary has not been implicated in the fraud that actually brought the parent company to its knees, although Wirecard UK does at this time remain under tight restrictions. Look, well, the Wirecard story, it's far from over. I just hope that it will be the end of the story for us and that we can just get back to using our cards and having fun. I also wanted to share this interesting graph with you. Now, this graph shows the rising volumes at decentralized cryptocurrency exchanges, which is so far up 5x just this year. Decentralized exchanges now account for 0.5% of the total cryptocurrency volume. And while that may seem like a very small number, we are witnessing a massive surge here, 5x just this year alone. And speaking of DEXs, some quick Kyber updates for you. Kyber Network's protocol upgrade called Catalyst is expected to go live on July 7th, which is amazing. So excited for this, to see this finally coming together and coming out. Now, a vote was held in their Discord to determine the initial staking rates, since the staking and governance stuff's not live on the token yet, and it seems that 65% of the fees will go to token holders, 30% will be rebates to the liquidity providers, and 5% of the tokens will be burned. With the rising tide of decentralized exchange volume, Kyber is really well positioned to be a real moneymaker over the coming years. Remember, those rewards are paid out in Ethereum. In other DeFi news, another DeFi hack has happened. About that time of the week, I guess. This time draining around $500,000 from two balancer finance pools. Now, this is a very sophisticated attack that exploited a loophole, tricking the protocol into releasing $500,000 worth of tokens. Again, we see flash loans being utilized to exploit these loopholes. So the attacker borrowed $23 million worth of wrapped Ethereum tokens in a flash loan from DYDX. Then they traded against themselves with Statera, which is an investment token that uses a transfer fee model, and it burns 1% of its value every time it is traded. Crazy stuff. Now, the hacker, they were good at what they were doing. They covered the tracks well. The ether used to pay the transaction fees and to deploy the smart contracts was all laundered through Tornado Cash, which is an Ethereum-based mixer service. Just another DeFi exploit, guys. It's crazy. I keep bringing these stories up just to keep reminding everyone that significant risk remains in using these early stage products. This is all still experimental technology, and you have to be aware of the risks. By the way, Bitcoin maximalists have just been jizzing in their pants every time they see a DeFi exploit like this happen. But just so you Bitcoiners don't feel left out, a Blockstream bug on the Liquid network left it open to a $16 million Bitcoin theft. Now, the vulnerable account controlled 870 Bitcoin, and to be fair, it did not get hacked. It was actually spotted by a Bitcoin developer, and Blockstream has now implemented a workaround, is currently developing a permanent solution to fix this problem. But the problem existed for 18 months. In Blockstream, they knew about this exploit the entire frickin' time. This particular exploit could have allowed employees to withdraw Bitcoin from an emergency recovery process that requires 2 out of 3 key holders to sign a transaction, which would have bypassed the more proper multi-sig process that they have set up, which would have required 11 out of 15 key holders to sign a transaction. I mean, look, the risk profile is a bit different here in what's been happening in the DeFi space, and yeah, no Bitcoin was stolen, but it just serves as a reminder. There are risks in crypto. Not that anyone's really using the Bitcoin Liquid network anyway from Blockstream, but still, the safest thing you can do, buy Bitcoin, put your Bitcoin in a hardware wallet just like this bad boy here, and be done with it. Nice and simple. Okay, next up in the news, the government of Brazil, well, more precisely, the Central Bank of Brazil, last week shut down WhatsApp Pay across the country. Brazil is WhatsApp's second largest market with more than 120 million users. Central banks, they are increasingly becoming terrified of money that they cannot directly manipulate and control. This is why they are all looking to launch their central bank digital currencies. More power. But the ability of the Brazilian central bank to just shut this service down like that, crazy stuff, man. Brazilians, they need an alternative, something that can't just be shut off at the flick of a switch by a bureaucrat, and probably a corrupt bureaucrat at that. Crypto is such a powerful, powerful alternative because no governments can shut it down. And I have a second story for you that also underlines this. Over in Zimbabwe, the government has blocked all mobile money payments. Insane. They've also suspended the national stock exchange as the Zimbabwean currency collapses again. The government claims that they've done this to avert a national currency crisis, which is already happening. You guys have not averted it. You caused it. Just another currency crisis in Zimbabwe. Man, I feel sorry for the people in Zimbabwe. They just have the sorry misfortune of being governed by some of the biggest idiots on the planet. I mean, Zimbabwe in currency crisis, they're basically synonymous at this point. In fact, if you open the dictionary, look up for currency crisis, you're probably going to see a picture of Zimbabwe there. This is the 5th time in Zimbabwe's history that its national currency has collapsed. 5 times. What are you guys doing? This is crazy, man. Millions of people in Zimbabwe, they rely on mobile payments because of the difficulty of actually accessing hard cash because of controls from the bank once again. In 2019, mobile wallets accounted for 85% of all transaction volumes in Zimbabwe. Think about how insane this is. They've just taken money away from most people in society. You can't use mobile payment apps anymore. They're all been banned. And you can't get your hands on cash either. This is crushing for the people of Zimbabwe who just keep getting knocked down and getting back up and return to the fight. It's crazy. This is an economy that is 100% ready for cryptocurrency disruption. All you need is a mobile phone and you can escape the clutches of your government. Now, one of the big mobile payment platforms called EcoCash, they also sell Bitcoin, by the way, they are defying this ruling. They're saying they're going to stay open, be available for people. Also on the news that the government is cracking down on mobile payments. Bitcoin spiked up by 18% in Zimbabwe. People everywhere need real, useful, resilient alternatives to their government-issued money. The market opportunity for crypto to take off in underbanked or unbanked areas of the globe, it is incredible, or to simply unbank the banked in other parts of the world. And remember, if you think, hey man, it's all good, my government would never do any of that stuff, they would never shut down access to my accounts or my payments app or anything like that. You're not paying attention if you believe that. Anyway, that's the exact kind of BS the governments do, man. So, the final story for today. American blockchain hosting provider Core Scientific has just signed a deal to buy 17,000 S19 miners from Bitmain to mine some Bitcoin. Now, this is on behalf of their clients, but also for their own use. That, by the way, is about 1.87 million terahashes of power, or about 1.5% of the total hash rate of the Bitcoin network, or about enough to mine 100 Bitcoin a week. That is a big, big move. Now this, of course, is in addition to the world's largest Bitcoin mining farm located in Texas, which was launched by Bitmain, and of course, the other mega farm, which is competing for the title of the world's biggest Bitcoin mining farm, launched by Northern Bitcoin AG, which is backed by Japanese giants SBI and GMO. Also based in Texas. And then, of course, we have the Peter Thiel-backed company Layer 1, which raised $50 million late last year to launch a mining operation. And you're never going to believe where Layer 1 is located. Yeah, it's in Texas, too. Texas, man. New global hotspot for mining. Now, obviously, there's dozens of smaller operations as well, aside from these just super mega mines that are being built, but this move by Core Scientific, it is incredibly big. We're seeing a massive and rapid shift of power in the Bitcoin mining game right now. And while we see players like Russia still adding hash power, the USA, it is quickly positioning itself to become the second biggest country for Bitcoin mining, especially if this trend continues. The capacity is being built for massive expansion by these companies. That should do a lot to counter the China controls Bitcoin narrative that we see thrown around so much. I mean, look, regardless of narratives, honestly, increased geographic distribution of hash rate, it is a positive for Bitcoin, and I hope that we see more of it happening. We've seen some really big moves by players last year in the US to really try and get a significant portion of the total hash rate moved into the US, and it's now happening here in real time, and this is a good thing for Bitcoin. Okay, So your question for today. Imagine that a penguin walks through your door right now wearing a sombrero. What does he say? And why is he here? Or if you don't want to answer that silly question, then just let me know your opinion on any of today's news down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. As always, I massively appreciate your time, so thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to come here and watch this dude talk about cryptocurrencies on the internet. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.